Hello and welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Topham and with me this week is Shoban. Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing alright. Things are going well. I have been in the library for about 4 hours this morning trying to work on this assignment. And by the library, I mean like the university library. I don't have my own personal library. As much as that'd be nice, and I just don't read. Yeah, I've been at the university library. It's like sort of 10-minute drive away from me.
Okay.
And I've just been looking stuff up to do with this assignment I've got. And I've got, at this point in time, like 4 weeks to finish it. Also motivating me is the fact that Destiny 2 comes out in like just under 4 weeks. So I'm like real motivated to get it finished before that game comes out so that I can play it without any hindrance.
Is it already almost 4 weeks until the game
Yeah.
comes out?
Mm-hmm.
What?
It comes out on like the 6th of September. And so it's, yeah. It might not even be that long. It might be 3.5 weeks.
Oh,
I get
my
employed in 1
goodness.
week. I've got 2 weeks, and then it's the week after that. Yeah. So
Jeez.
it's not long at all.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
And so yeah, that's really motivating me to get this assignment done as much as possible.
Okay.
And yeah, like this assignment, I've got to write between 4,000 and 4,500 words on like risk and risk management.
Okay.
In relation to quality rather than like financial risk, but I guess financial risk's a factor in that as well.
Okay.
More so business contingency and things like that.
Okay.
And so I've got a whole bunch of learning to do because I read through all of the course material that was provided, and it didn't really cover all of the stuff that it's asking for in the assignment, which is pretty bad. And then I was
Don't you love
reading
when
it.
that happens? Like they're just like, oh yeah, here's what we're gonna be learning today, and I'm only gonna give you less than half of the material. Have fun.
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah, it's a bit frustrating. And then I was reading a textbook today, and like the course material I was using had exactly like the words from my course material were identical to what was written in one of these textbooks, and I don't know which came first, but I'm like, they are identical in every single way. Like, every single
Jeez.
word's identical. I was like, well, this has clearly been lifted from either of these places, or it's been lifted from a third source that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was just, yeah, I was unimpressed that I found it word for word somewhere else.
Oh, jeez.
It was just strange to be like, oh yeah, but at least it means I'm kind of looking in the right place for things.
Well, that's true. Yeah. If it's all starting to become one, then you're at least going in the right direction. You need to find that source book though, where they lifted everything from, because that should
Yeah.
have all the information, right?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm looking for that. But I pulled out like 10 different textbooks and we're like trawling through them, trying to do things. But the problem with like the way I usually work is that I'm not methodical, and ooh, that's no good. I've written myself like 20 points that I want to cover as well. And now, like at the end of like when I was sorting it out this morning, I was like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it section by section so I can cover everything I need to in a logical, sensible order. And that's made me feel a lot better about what I'm going to be doing, so I know what I'm doing each time I go in, rather than picking up 10 books and randomly writing notes down all over the place.
Right.
This has been like my want and need the last time I did the assignment. And last time I did the assignment as well, I didn't make any references or anything like that. I just wrote down flat out what I thought.
Okay.
And I got nearly to the word limit without any references. And then I sent it to my mum, who was a university lecturer, to like give it a proof, and she was just like,
Right.
"You've got no references. You need to rewrite the whole thing." I was like, "No." So yeah, that was real interesting. And this time, I'm trying to do it the proper way by using books and referencing properly, which is something I've
course.
never really done in the past. But
Really? Okay.
I'm studying and doing that kind of work again, which is real interesting. But I don't know. I like learning, and I'm pretty open about the fact that I like learning.
No, of course, yeah. Learning is always fantastic, especially if you're interested in it. Like if you had to learn like something you didn't like, then that would probably drag on. You're like, I hate this. I need this to go away. But if you're interested in it, it's perfect.
Yeah, that actually like makes me think as well. Like when I do have time off, what I want to do is I want to listen to like audiobooks and I want to watch documentaries about things that I want to learn about. I'm just like, oh no, I've got like 3 months where I'm not doing anything, and like at the moment I'm just like, I can't find anything to watch, and it's not out of a lack of like, oh, it's just out of like all the things that I usually watch I'm caught up with.
Right.
So just like the Achievement Hunter, the Game Grumps stuff, I'm all caught up with that, and I just don't know what to do, but there's probably a bunch of documentaries out there I can watch and a bunch of audiobooks that I can listen to, and finding myself with 12 weeks of free time, somewhat free time.
Definitely.
I'm gonna be at Rachel's house, so like when Rachel's around, obviously attention's going to be there.
Of course.
Whereas like when I'm on my own, when she's out working, I'm gonna have to find something for me to do, and I thought, yeah, documentaries and like audiobooks, that'll probably be a good thing to do, and I can learn things as I sit and do things. But
For sure.
like I said, I'm off work for 12 weeks, but before then, I've got myself a new employee, which is the first time I've hired someone directly. I have 2 employees under me at the moment.
Okay.
But it's kind of just got to a point where I'm just like, oh, I've hired this person. This person is the first person that is strictly my responsibility to make sure that they're trained, and that's going to be interesting. And yeah, I have 6 weeks to do it before before I go away. And so I've written, like, this is a weird thing. Like, I do things, and I'm just like, I'm going to do everything in a random order because that's how I did, like, how I have done things in the past. But like for when my new employee turns up, I've got everything planned out. I've written it down. I know what we need to do. We're going to follow the week through, bit by bit, and it's going to be done that way because that's the way I do things. And
nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
And yeah, it's going to be kind of a lot of responsibility to be responsible for a new employee and ensuring that they are trained appropriately.
Yeah, that's always the toughest part, right? Making sure the new guy, you need to teach him everything, so that way, like it doesn't. Because if the person's not properly trained, it's gonna fall back on you, and they're gonna be like, well, why didn't you train them on this? This is something, blah 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 blah, and then it's just a bad time for everybody.
Yeah, totally. I definitely am going to be aware of everything that we cover, and I'm going to be like acutely aware of everything that we don't cover as well. So it's going to be a case of just getting that together and just being like at the end of at the end of the 6 weeks we can spend together, just saying these are the things we haven't covered. If someone could be responsible for them. I've already asked, considering I'm going away at this point in time, 7 weeks away. I've already asked people to cover things while I'm away, and there was still 8, 9, 10 weeks to go, just to make sure that there's a smooth transition time in between. But yeah, with this hiring of a new employee as well, I'm moving my desk from downstairs next to the lab, which is like typically where I've been based, to upstairs in the transport and logistics office, which is a very drastic change of scenery.
I would assume so. Like that seems just like completely different in every single way. Like it's just
it's the only free desk that there is. So there's the downstairs lab office, which is for QC, QA, and QI, which is quality control, quality assurance, and quality inspection. I do quality assurance and quality control and quality inspection. Then I have one woman that does QC and one guy that does quality inspection for me. Okay. But yeah, I'm getting a new person that's going to help out with QC, do some of the QA responsibilities. But I'm going to move upstairs so that I can focus on the QA kind of stuff. And there's also a lab office as well, but that's for the people that do development work. And there's 2 spare desks in there, but they've just hired, or they're in the process of hiring 2 people. So those desks are getting filled, and there's 1 desk left, and that's the one I'm sitting at. That's in the other office, in the transport and logistics office.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I'd rather sit in there than in the development office, because every time I hear them talk about stuff in the development office, I'm just like, something about that doesn't seem right. I have to try and help them. Right. And it's just like, oh no, I'd rather be in somewhere where I have like no jurisdiction. I have nothing responsible to do in there, where I can just be like, I don't need to care about what they're talking about because I don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to moving towards that desk. But yeah, it's kind of a strange time for me trying to get all this done
Yeah, no, for
in
sure.
this short time that I've got.
Oof.
Yeah, and with all of that means that I need time to relax. And as such, I have been playing a ludicrous amount of Final Fantasy X. And I've played that game probably for more hours than nearly any other game I've played.
Really?
Yeah, I can think that way. I had a 400 hour and a 200 hour save file on PS2.
Okay.
I beat the game in about 100 hours when I had it on PS3.
Okay.
And then I am probably about 60 hours into it now. I can probably go to the end of the game right now.
Right.
But I'm at the point in it where I'm just grinding to get to the end section and just doing all of the optional objectives.
Right.
And it's nice. I like relaxing with it because
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing at the end of the game. It's just like the end game's really enjoyable for me. And so
That,
yeah, that's it. That's
that's
a real good
awesome.
thing. And
Yeah.
then when I was playing it, there's like a trophy tied to doing one of the side missions.
Okay.
I got it on PS3 and I didn't know, and I was trying to do it. I was like, I need to do this race for some reason. Don't know why I needed to do it. Did it without doing any of the special requirements for it.
Right.
And then with that, I was like, okay, I will check the trophy list. Check the trophy list. Did it on PS3. Don't need to bother with it now. So I'm just like, oh, I just wasted like 20 minutes trying to do the hard mode when all I need to do
Yeah.
is it simply. So yeah,
Does it port over whenever if you played a game on PS3 and then you're doing it on PS4 or?
not typically, but I believe Final Fantasy X was one of those games where the trophies were like account based rather than system based
Okay.
because it came out on PS3 and you could play it on PS Vita at the same time.
Got it.
So then they just implemented the PS4 functionality to it. So then
Got
it
it,
would all
okay.
be tied together.
That's fair.
Yeah, so that's really nice. Actually, that's one thing I like about the PS4 ecosystem at the moment as well.
No,
That, like,
definitely.
you can be like, oh yeah, I've got a Vita and things are good. But yeah. Final Fantasy X just is so good. I just
Oh,
spend too many hours in it, and yeah, I wanna play it while Rachel's around as well, and just show her the whole story because
that
it's
would be
really
good.
enjoyable. It's like it's such a good story, and I really enjoy it, and I just want her to experience that story as well. But
Exactly, and I feel like that's perfect just because you've played the game so much, so you know every little bit about it. So you could actually like just sort of breeze through it and have Rachel experience the story without having to be like, wait, I'm lost. I don't know where to go. What do I do? Where's this? Like, where's
yeah,
that? So no, that's fantastic.
yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm hoping because then I can answer any questions that come up. Because at some point it's not particularly straightforward, and if you like miss a cutscene, you could be ruined. Like
Yep.
I've just gone through the game and I'm still picking up things that I missed, like implications and like just small bits of information that I never picked up on in the past. So
Right.
it's real interesting, and it's a very very like deep, rich story, and I'm glad I'm understanding it more and more.
Nice.
Crazy, yeah. So what have you been playing recently?
So I've been jumping back into Pokemon a little bit just because
Hmm.
I actually so I've signed up for the Pokemon emails that come in, and
Hmm.
normally they're kind of before they were pretty helpful and they'd like give you a bunch of codes and stuff for everything so you could get access to rare Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah.
But recently it's kind of been a little bit slower. It's just been focusing on the online trading card game that they have.
Hmm.
But recently I went through and I saw the email and I decided to read it and scroll down. And they're like, if you go on mystery gift until I think September 15th,
Hmm.
you get access to a shiny Tapu Koko.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, so I need to go do that. So I immediately went, downloaded it, got it, and then I was like, oh, I should probably get through like a lot of other stuff,
Hmm.
and because my the Pokedex wasn't 100% filled because I had a lot of Pokemon that were in the Pokemon Bank,
Uh-huh.
and also I'd played Red and got a lot of the Pokemon from Red, and I had my Pokemon from X and Y. So
Yeah.
I basically aggregated all the Pokemon into the bank
Yeah.
and filled it all into Pokemon Sun.
Hmm.
So as of right now, I went from like I think only having 200 and something Pokemon to over 400 or so.
Nice.
And so like all the legendary, like I have all the legendaries in Sun. I have all the just like almost everything. So now I'm just kind of doing like the last little bit to close up shop.
Cool.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah. I loaded it up last night at Rachel's insistence because of the shiny Tapu Koko. I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah,
it's
shiny Tapu Koko. It
exactly.
looks, yeah, that's
But
cool.
so there's been that. I've been playing. I finally beat Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, which
Awesome.
like it's a good game, but
Hmm.
at the same time, there's so much like empty spaces with it where you have no idea where you're going, and you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? Like nothing points to a proper direction. You're just kind of like wandering around, which is cool
Hmm.
in terms of like that sense of like lost, like that lost feeling. But at the same time, it's like you should like figure out what to do. Like it's still linear. Like it's not open sandbox. It has the feeling of open sandbox, but
Hmm.
you can't access anything unless you go through the actual storyline, and they don't tell you where to go in the actual storyline. And you're like, well, now I'm stuck. Fantastic.
Hmm.
Just
Uh, yeah, I started it. I started it when I was going to Amsterdam for my like business trip,
okay.
and I did not get far. I probably played it for about an hour, and I made it to the Deku Tree, and I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Not making any progress.
Yeah, no, it's
And
it's
yeah,
it's it's rough. It is honestly rough.
yeah, I need to pick it back up and actually play it properly. But
Yeah.
there's other games I want to play instead.
Exactly. Like I want to download the new remake of Crash Bandicoot, but I'm like should I get it? But I feel like it's going to get frustrating like later on in like the games and stuff, but so I'm always on the fence. Like I always see it and I'm like I want to purchase this game. But then I'm like but I don't want to purchase this game. And I
Hmm.
always just go back and forth to figure out if I should buy it. Have you gotten it yet or not yet?
Yeah, I got it.
How do you find it?
Crash Bandicoot 1 is infuriatingly difficult.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 2 I haven't touched,
Okay.
and Crash Bandicoot 3 is my favorite, one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
And it feels wonderful. I'm having a great time with Crash 3
Okay.
because I was expecting to, and yeah, it feels good. So
Nice.
I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm really enjoying Crash Bandicoot 3.
Okay.
Like I said, Crash Bandicoot 1, I'm just infuriated with it
Is
because
it
it's challenging.
infuriating?
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's real difficult. Because yeah, they changed the shape of Crash
Mm.
basically. So he used to be a big cube, and
Right.
now he is a teardrop shape. So his feet aren't as like the platform he can land on is nowhere near as wide as it was in the past. It's really just his feet,
Ah.
whereas it used to be a big like square on the bottom you could land on,
Right.
which makes it real challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's enjoyable. It's exactly what I wanted. So yeah, Crash 3 is still fantastic. Crash 3 feels exactly the same. It's just Crash 1 is the one that's like changed the most drastically, which makes it
Okay.
as difficult as people keep saying it is. So
Okay. Yeah, because I
that's
know
the
people keep
interesting
calling
thing.
it what the it's like Dark Souls, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Like Dark Souls?
Yeah. I don't know even what to make of those comparisons, considering I've played both games extensively. Um,
Right.
it's just I wouldn't put them as a similar thing at all, to be honest. But
Mm.
you know, that was just one reviewer's thing that I guess
Of
I don't know
course.
if it got taken out of context or anything, but it just seemed ludicrous.
Yep. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh well. But you've been playing games alongside Elan and Raph and Mark and Derek
Yeah.
in what they are calling, I can't remember the name, if you
It
could.
is. I'm pretty sure it's winning team of the world or WTOTW. which if you
Hmm.
spell that out in all caps is a fantastic just design.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, it was so what happened was originally during RTX this year,
Uh-huh.
uh, Elon, myself, Raph, and Derek were all guardians. And at
Hmm.
the end of one of the days, we were just kind of hanging out together and just talking about all the fun we would have, watching Elon or Raph stream, and then like all the crazy stuff that used to happen. Like, I think the biggest one that we were just kind of laughing over was when Elon and Raph were playing Little Big Planet,
Hmm.
and then they were just trying to get through everything, and they were having so many problems. And I think Elon was drinking too at the same time, so at some point he just got like trashed,
Yeah.
and Raph had to try to carry him over and stuff like that, and it was just a fun time. So we decided we would try to like bring back that sort of stuff, and with this iteration, the games are pretty much secondary.
Yeah.
It's primarily just kind of all of us hanging out and having a good time and doing all that fun stuff because it's been so long. Like if you really think about it, it's been about what 2 years, maybe 3 years since it's really kind of taken off.
Yeah.
And like we don't really have like any of the big streams anymore. Like remember like Low Zeldathon and Lambency Fest and
Yeah.
like all that stuff. Like we do have like there have been streams that have been going on and where everything's like they've had like multiple streamers go through, but at the same
Hmm.
time it hasn't been as big.
Yeah.
So the goal is essentially to bring back the old crowd. We all kind of hang out and just play a couple games. Uh, yeah, I last or 2 weeks ago we played the Killing Floor,
Yep.
the Killing Floor 2, which was the first time of I've ever played the Killing Floor. So I was like, man, this game is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Um, game last night, I wasn't able to make it, but I can't remember I did check it out, but I can't remember what the
They were
game was.
playing Borderlands 2.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, because they all dressed up as as different characters for it. Like I think
Nice.
Derek was dressed up as like Handsome Jack and stuff.
That's what he was dressed as. I thought he was dressed fancy for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the first time we played it, we all just or we played Killing Floor 2, like all of us just dressed up in suits,
Hmm.
except for Mark, who just had like the bow tie. That was so good. And then yeah, last night I believe Derek dressed up as Handsome Jack, and I think Raph dressed up as Handsome Jack as best he could as well.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, the good thing about this too is because there are five of us, if
Hmm.
one or two people aren't able to make it, it's not like a huge loss and everything has to be kind of shut down because
Yeah.
there are more people that are able to come in and sort of just play and have a good time. So yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's really the goal with this group, and it's honestly just kind of being a part of it is just fantastic, and we'll see how far this goes.
Cool. Yeah, it certainly seemed like a lot of fun. I managed to turn up the one 2 weeks ago for probably like 20 minutes or so. The problem
Right.
is for me is it starts at like midnight or after
Yeah,
midnight, and so
it's
it's not
true.
really conducive to me being able to watch it. But
Right.
7 weeks, and then I'll be. Oh God, it's only 7 weeks, and then I'll be there. In
That's
America, in
that's
your
so
time
crazy.
zones. That's so crazy because I know how much work I've got to do. So yeah, yeah, and running the assignment alongside like doing all the training as well. That's just
Oh,
gonna kill me.
jeez. Ugh.
Oh, I'm gonna have a miserable time. Oh well, I'll be fine. I'll manage.
And then you gotta try to not play Destiny 2 as much as you want because you have the assignments and the trainings to do. Like it's just
Well, I mean, outside of work, it's kind of irrelevant. But
true,
yeah,
true.
like if I can get the assignment done, because like the first draft deadline is 2 days after Destiny 2 comes out. If I can get the
Okay.
first draft done before then, and then I get the feedback. Last time I got the feedback on my assignment, there was one section that needed a few words rearranging. I just
Mm,
rearranged them and sent it off, and I got like a 60 something. Over here, that's
okay.
not bad because 50% is pass.
Right. That's true. No,
Whereas
that's true.
like, ooh, over in the States, they're just like, I've heard terror stories about the marking schemes. I'm just like,
Yeah, no, it's
whoa, it's
crazy.
nothing like that over here. I'm just like, that
Y-
seems like insufferable. I certainly
Yep.
wouldn't pass things. So,
Canada's the exact same way. Canada's 50% is a pass, and if you can
mhm,
get that, you're good to go. Like it's fine. Like, oof.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's been a bit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The other thing that I've been doing, and I've been posting these journals typically on Sunday, is a list of the albums that I've listened to over the previous week.
Okay.
And what I've been doing is I've been just trying to use Apple's recommendations if they're available and I have access to Wi-Fi to listen to as many albums that I've never heard that I probably should have heard.
Mm.
Or I'll listen to albums that I'm like somewhat familiar with, but haven't really given the time of the week, like the time of
Okay.
the day before. Um, and one that came up. Oh no, this one was like I chose to listen to this one earlier this week. Was Frank Turner's "Positive Songs for Negative People," and like that's a
Nice.
real good album.
That's
And like
fantastic
I've
album.
listened to it like once or twice before, and I'm just like, oh, that's a real good album. And then also on my list because I have it in my music library because I've got the CD somewhere is Gnarls Barkley's "St. Elsewhere," which is like the first
Ah,
album that CeeLo really got famous with,
yeah, yeah,
and that's a bloody brilliant album.
it is.
Like I don't know if people have listened to it or they've just listened to "Crazy." I think was the song that really broke out from that album.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. And but there's some like amazing songs on that album. There's just some real upbeat
Oh
music.
yeah.
It's so good.
Go,
It's so
go,
so
go,
good.
get your gospel. Always just kind of.
Yes.
If I want to get pumped up, I just play that, and it's just.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how many people like ever got that album. It's probably quite a few because it was big at the time. But like
Well,
I don't
I
know.
don't even know. Like, I feel like more people just kind of listen to the song because that was played so much,
Hmm.
and it was like, because I hear like that, it was critically acclaimed, but I don't think like sales wise it did fantastic because when that album came out, that was also sort of like the boom of iTunes. So
Yeah.
people could
Hmm.
just buy the song and put it on their iPod or MP3 player.
Hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
think people actually spent time and like went through the album. But that album is DJ Danger Mouse is he has such an eclectic taste where it just
Hmm.
kind of blows up everywhere and you're like this is I don't know what to do with this album. This album is fantastic. Like it's so good.
Yeah. That is a fantastic album. My dad and I watched. There's a show over here called Later with Jules Holland.
Okay.
And he has live music every week. They record a new episode. They do seasons of about 8 episodes, and they have 4 or 5 musicians or
Okay.
groups on a week, and they each perform like 3 or 4 songs, and it like goes round the room.
Mhm.
And yeah, we saw Niles Barkley or CeeLo and the rest of the group on there performing a few songs, and we knew of Crazy. We were just like, it's a good song, but it wasn't really in
Right.
our realms. And
Of
then we
course.
heard other things like, um, oh, what's the one I'm thinking of? I think he played Smiley Faces or Happy Faces. I can't remember
Oh
the name of
yeah.
that song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Gone Daddy Gone as well.
Oh,
What's
that's a
that
good
song?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like they
I'm pretty
played that,
sure
and
Daddy Gone.
we were just like, we need to get this album. We were just like, we need this album in our lives. So
Yep.
like, because it was on at like, it started at like 11:45 every Friday night, so like
Okay.
super late, and then went
Right.
on until about 12:30. We'd always stay up and watch it, and then every Saturday morning we'd be like, if we saw something we really wanted, the two of us would go into town and be like, we're gonna go get a haircut and we're gonna grab a new album. So we'd always just go in and get a new album to listen
That's
to. And it was
fantastic.
real cool.
Oof.
And so yeah, I'm kind of trying to replicate that on my own by just like listening to all these albums that seem to be popping up thanks to Apple Music, and it's going real well. This
Nice.
week has been very limited, but I did listen to. Actually, I checked the Amazon listing for like top prog metal albums, and there was one on there that I didn't recognize. The rest of them are all like staples of prog rock and prog metal that are like
Yeah.
that have been in the lists for like 10 years or so.
That's
And then there was
funny.
this new one. And then I check out like all the artists that I want to listen to. If I want to listen to them, I'll check and see if they've got a new album out. So I was looking up for Twerp, TWRP, the guys that do the music for Ninja Sex Party,
Right, right.
that did the music on their covers album, I think. Oh no, they provide the live music in their touring. That's
Right.
the
Yeah.
stuff. There we go.
That's
That's
it.
what I
Yeah.
remember. And they've put out an album this year, and I didn't
Okay.
know that. So I was like, oh, I better check this out. It's real
Yeah.
good. I highly recommend it. It's called Lady World, and
Okay.
I was just like, oh, this is real cool,
Nice.
real
Okay.
cool. And then yeah, there's just things popping up, and I'm just like, oh, I have to listen to this and this, and
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It also allows me to like delve into the back catalogs of any artist that I'm just like, oh, this is a cool album. What other things have they done?
Right. Like that's the thing. I feel like the past 2 years, 2015, well, 2016 and 2017, there've just been a huge influx in music that's just sort of come out, and you're like, I don't know if it's been the same like every year, and it's only now I've just been more aware of it, but it just feels like there's so much just content coming out nowadays, and you're
Yeah.
trying to like absorb as much as possible, but you're like, there's only so many days, like only so many times I can listen to music, and
hmm
there's so much stuff, like I'm not gonna be able to get through everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
what I've been able to do is so I have Apple Music and I also have Spotify.
hmm
So I use Apple Music, primarily the radio feature to kind of figure out what's opened and what's going on over there.
Uh-huh.
And then with Spotify, one interesting thing that I like is that they use they basically take the information from the music you're listening to and
Yeah.
create aggregate playlists. So you can actually sort of go through everything. And if I like a song, then I'll go into the album. Or they'll just say, "Hey, you like these type of artists? Would you prefer listening to these albums that you've never heard of before?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is amazing. Like, let's do this." So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I'm really enjoying at the moment. Just like discovering all this music. I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
it's so good. But actually like writing everything down as a list, I can see like what albums I've listened to, and the way like my memory works is I can just identify like, oh, that album was real good. I really liked it, and I know what elements of it I did like.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
just because I don't know, my memory works weird, and I can just remember stuff. And other things, not a chance of remembering. So, yeah, like I can tell you that like I've written down a list of the albums I listened to. That must have been 2 weeks ago. Um, and I listened to a blues album by a guy called Jackson Brown.
Okay.
And that was real good.
Nice.
Really enjoyable. I know there was one album that week I didn't listen to the entirety of. Um, I know Jackson Brown's like old classic rock style thing. Sean James is the blues album I listened to. Anyway,
Okay.
oh, I should have remembered that better. But yeah, and yeah, there's just so many albums that I'm just like, I wish I had all the time in the world to listen to all the music, but you know, it's just coming out at an insane rate. And
Yep.
yeah, last year I can't remember having like really sought out any new music, and 2015 was kind of similar, but I knew what roughly was coming out. But yeah,
Right.
2016 I have no idea what music really came out last year.
Yeah.
And so I've got like all of last year to catch up with, as well as everything that's coming out this year, and I'm
Ah,
blown away by some of the albums I've heard recently.
it's fantastic. I don't know what's happened, but usually music is shaped by what's happening in like society and everything. But yeah, like these past couple of years, it's just been like so good across multiple genres. Like it's not like, oh, this genre is performing well. This genre is kind of has a lull right now. It's like everybody's just been elevated. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. There's been some real good like doomy stoner prog metal that's been coming out. There's been some real
Okay.
good punk that's coming out. Like it's just crazy. Like
Yeah.
yeah, the amount of like good music I'm finding at the moment, and it's not like I'm trying to listen to as much as possible. There was a like run a few weeks ago where I was like going through it, and I found like 3 albums I didn't enjoy in a row. That's not to
Right.
say it's bad music. It's just that it felt a bit too. I don't know. It just didn't suit me
Right.
that well, and so yeah, I was just like, yeah, this maybe isn't for me. But
Mm,
that's personal taste rather than anything else. So
right. Of course.
you know, but yeah, good times. Good
Awesome.
times indeed. Yeah, awesome. Shoban, where can we find you across the internet? And can you tell us some information about winning team of the world?
Of course. So you can find me online, Twitter at Nabos Nabohs. You can find really if you kind of look that up on the online or through any game like any system, you'll be able to find me pretty fast. Winning Team of the World, that is going to be on every. We're going to try to do it every week on Saturday at about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
And there isn't really like a finish time. We're just kind of going until we're kind of like, okay, we need to stop because we're either A, really tired, or B, we could. I think alcohol is going to be a factor in a lot of our gameplays. So if we're like, okay,
Yeah.
no, we need to stop. This has just gone too far. We've made it a complete mess of things. So yeah, just like pop by whenever you can. Just kind of hang out with everybody, get engaged with the chat, and it'll be a fantastic time.
Cool. That's on Ilan's channel. I'm struggling to remember his name on
Yes.
Twitch. I think it's Bluefire132.
Yep, it is Bluefire132. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. So yeah, he's on twitch.tv/bluefire132 to find that. Um,
Yep.
and yeah, awesome. I can be found across the internet at DestroyTopham or at Etherfar, depending on which social media you're looking at. And also, I'm not good at updating it at all
Yeah,
because I've
no,
just like taken a massive step back from all of that. But yeah,
nah, it's fair. Yeah.
cool. Well, thank you very much for joining me this week.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. I always love coming here and just kind of talking about stuff and catching up.
Yeah, it's good fun. I enjoyed it too. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Bye.